Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today we're flying out the F2A-3 Buffalo. This is battle rating 2.3, and the point of today's video is to look a little bit at positioning, and again, reiterating why an energy advantage is quite important. So, as you can see on the leaderboard, there's 3 people on our team already dead. And the enemy team is just starting to kind of appear in terms of their fighters. You can see we've got a Key 27 and a Key 43 that are both above us and in front of us. That's scary, but to be honest, with the way that this game looks, I just want to play a bit aggressively and start making an impact on the scoreboard. So, I look up that KI-43 and I notice that he's not really doing anything or turning around. So with the distance that he's at, I probably have enough time to get a couple of passes at these guys down on the deck. You can see again, I'm just keeping an eye on him, and now we're starting to close in here. So if I can get a couple of kills here, I can then, as long as I maintain my energy advantage, I can then turn back and start fighting that Key 43 later. HE-112 comes in and pilot snipe out the other side again. With energy, we're now converting our speed back into altitude. Look up. Key 43 is still not coming in our direction. We have so much more energy than this H-81 that we can loop over and not be at risk. And fire some shells, fire some more. His wing comes off, and that'll do. I see these 2 aircraft are coming in. So again, convert speed back to altitude, and at this point I look behind me and I see this BF-109E, who I did not see earlier, and I think, I'm in a bit of danger here. I've got 3 aircraft. I have an energy advantage over two of them, but the third one is quite dangerous. So my goal here is to try and even out the numbers a little bit. You see, get some hits, get some more hits, but unfortunately no significant damage. Turn around, BF-109 is on our tail. As is this Fokker. Luckily they're a similar distance out, so my plan is to turn in and then I can aim to avoid both of their guns at once. So you see, as soon as the 109E starts shooting, I dive down and then do the same thing for that first Fokker and then dive in on the second one. Again, the goal here is to try and get a quick kill, and we do that just in time to dodge the 109E again, and now we're looking to dodge the Fokker. At this point, I am feeling like I'm in a lot of danger because the Fokker has had time to even out the energy, and that's a problem because he turns better than me. So I'm just looking to see if I can get something on that 109E and try and risk it. So at this point, I thought I'd got myself killed, and I figured maybe I can stall him out with an energy advantage and he'll stall before me, and then I can swap back onto his tail. However, it looks like he's run out of altitude at this point. So, run out of ammunition at this point. But I'm still trying to kind of just roll away out of his guns. Same with this 109E. I'll talk a little bit more about kind of trying to dodge around in a second. And I noticed that this Fokker has like completely pulled off. He's disappeared. And that's good for me because I can outturn a 109E. I got a short glimpse of him there. Just wanted to check to make sure. Yep, 109E comes around again. I dodge away from the head-on and turn around. So, I think that Fokker ran out of ammo, which is, to be fair, quite lucky for us. I think he probably would have got the kill there. And now my goal is to just start reeling in this 109E. It will gradually draw away the distance, but if I can fire some long-range shells just to keep him turning, I can start to reel him in, as you can see here. My goal is to kind of keep myself as smooth as possible and then fire some bursts just to make sure I can get him to turn. Right, so when I was fighting against the 2 enemies at once, you would have seen as I went up into the stall, I was kind of rolling around like an absolute madman, trying to dodge. Now, there's 2 ways to do this. There is rolling around with no plan, which is typically not a good idea. You can kind of evade shots for a while, but eventually they'll see the pattern, and they'll just wait for you to line up with their guns and get the shot in anyways. What I was trying to do there is kind of tactically, as we shoot down the 109E, is roll away from their guns. So just as they are starting to get themselves lined up to pull with me and get a shot, what I can do is I can, instead of just rolling randomly, once they're lined up, I can keep rolling in one direction to try and get out of their guns. That way they have to still roll, and they can't just pull with their elevator and get an extended shot off. Trying to aim with rudder is quite annoying at the best of times. So when someone's behind you, it's never good, but one of the ways that you can try to kind of delay the inevitable, or hope that someone runs out of ammo, or a friend saves you, or that somehow you can maybe get a reversal, is when someone has a shot on your tail, as soon as they're almost lined up, you just need to roll away from their angle. You don't want to cross over kind of the same orientation as them. You want to keep going and then be a little bit unpredictable, and then you can try to continue to do that and hope that something good happens. In this case, we got lucky. Now, that was a key 27. I was thinking of letting him take off and having a fair fight, but I looked at the timer and I looked at our team scoreboard, and it was just me and this MiG-3 alive, so I figured I'd probably better kill that guy quickly, and then head over to try and save the MiG-3. Now, we can see Ju-88 is shooting at the MiG-3, as is this P-66. I was looking at the P-66 and I was thinking, he looks like he might be out of ammunition, and so I figured I'm going to go on the aircraft that is kind of immediately problematic for the MiG-3. I look to roll over onto the P-66, but then I do see the Ju-88 rolling away, and I've decided that I'm going to try and kill him because I think he's going to fly into the hill and get a couple of shots off, and lo and behold, he does go into the hill. MiG-3 unfortunately dies from the Ju-88's damage, and now it's me versus the P-66. P-66 is faster, but he is going in the wrong direction. So he's about to convert all of his energy to speed. I hear engine noises, but it's just these two IL-2s. So I'm going to dive and try and get speed to see if I can catch him, but as you can see, I'm on the deck and he's already starting to pull away in terms of distance. So I switch up my strategy. I know that he's probably going to want to return to base, and my strategy is I'm going to climb a little bit and then level off, accelerate, because I then have a higher energy state, and then as he tries to turn around and head for his airfield, I can then dive in and close the distance and force him into a turn fight. So you can see I'm following him closely here, but at this point I have turned 10 degrees, and I'll turn a little bit more later because I've just seen him starting to turn a little bit. You see he's extending quite rapidly now, but I have a significant altitude advantage. So as we accelerate and start to even out the speed, right, our top speeds are not too different for aircraft at this battle rating, but if I am 700-800 meters higher, then I can convert that into temporary speed boost. We can see that he started to turn around, and now we're starting to close the distance. Very slight angle down, approaching 400, and I decide that now's the time to commit. We're only 900 meters away, and we're going to close in. So I've only got 285 machine gun rounds left, so hopefully we can be a little bit sparing and get a shot. So I thought he was going to put it into the ground there, but he turns up, and we get hit. So there's a couple of hits there. We both go up. Now, I know that I've got a little bit more energy than him, so I'm just going to dodge out of his guns, as you can see there, and stall right back down on top of him again, just to maintain being on his tail. More hits, more hits, more hits, more hits. It's about 5 or 6 hits there. Missed that shot. Don't want to let him or overshoot, so I just pull off, and then we recommit. More hits. Rolling around. I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on what's going on around me, especially at points like this, but I'm pretty confident this guy's the last fighter left on the team. There's even more hits, and more hits. This guy is kind of refusing to die. Looks like I haven't really done that much damage to him. He doesn't seem to be struggling that much, but we then pulled back down, just in time for him to put it into the beach. So I guess we must have damaged something beyond the point of repair there. At this point, I only have 91 machine gun rounds left. I've got 2 enemies to kill, and I've got about 8 minutes to do it. So I decide that it's pretty important to return to base. Now, I've seen a little dot up in the sky there, and now we see it's a Ju-87. At this point, I didn't know if he was trying to hunt me. This guy has 1 air kill and no bombs, so I was a little bit concerned that he was going fighter mode in his 87. So I was debating at this point whether to go to the safe airfield with AAA or whether I needed as much time as I could get and to go for the risky airfield. I'm pretty confident at this point that I'm not spotted, and so I returned to base. Luckily he didn't see me. I'm able to climb up, and as you can see, we're closing in. At this point, again, I still am pretty confident with the light that he can't see me. He's going for these friendly dive bombers, and it's at this point that I think he sees me. I'm tracking the FW-200, which is actually quite a long way in the distance. You might see its dot at some points. Now, fighting a Ju-87, he has an energy advantage, but it is a dive bomber, so I'm not too concerned. My plan is to just dodge out of the head-on. As you can see, he turns this way. I was just waiting to see if he continues, but nope, he sees us. So I'm just going to pitch down a little bit, and then whichever way he goes, I'm just going to roll to the side and make the shot difficult. He commits. I'm just going to turn down, and then very quickly we're on his tail. There's a couple of hits, a couple more hits, a couple more hits, a couple more hits. The latter half of this game, we didn't have a lot of luck with our guns. I loop over the top, fire some more shells, again more hits. This time I've decided I'm actually going to speed up and get close to him underneath his gunner's range. I've actually knocked a gear leg off, but that's not going to help me here. And then we're going to fire some more shells. So there's some more hits, damage of left wing, some more hits, a crit, and we're going to go again. Go, severe damage to fuselage. I think it's not going to necessarily affect his ability to fly, but I must have done enough damage, potentially knocked out his elevator, so he bails out. And it's at exactly that time the the Focke-Wulf 200 appears. I looked very quickly at the scoreboard there, and I noticed that there was only 4 minutes remaining. So I was originally planning on climbing out this way to get above, which is where I feel most comfortable killing bombers, but I thought I probably don't have enough time left in the game. And so I do what I would call a very risky strategy, which is trying to kill this guy from underneath. He already has 1 air kill, so I know he's relatively decent at shooting from his gunners, and we can see that he's turning away to line up, which is a very smart move. The FW-200 is very unmaneuverable. As you can see there, it almost looked like he was falling out of the sky. But we're just approaching from below, keeping an eye out from his gunner start shooting, and there he goes. And so I'm just going to be a little bit tricky, turn around a couple of times, and now we're going to pitch up. Now, usually I aim for the wings. As you can see there, I missed my first couple of shots, but we get a crit in the wing route, and then basically the last shot that I fire before turning away manages to, I believe it exploded one of his bombs. And that's the game, and that is 9 kills in the Buffalo. So, in that game, every single time, aside from the last 2 fights with the dive bomber and the bomber, every fight I came in with an energy advantage. That was really important. It was what enabled me to live for so long in that 3v1. The fact that I was able to convert the 3v1 into 2v1 because I had the energy advantage over 2 of the aircraft. It also enabled me to chase down the P-66 as well as come in with advantageous positioning against the P-66 and the Ju-88. Alright, that's everything. See you next time.